Warning. Every one of you listening to my voice, tell the world. Tell this to everybody wherever they are. Watch the skies everywhere. Keep looking. Keep watching the skies.
Welcome to UFO Max. I am one of your hosts, Grantavious Maxx, and this is the Venerable Lee Strauss and his amazing goatee. I just want to rub it.
Well, it's kind of fuzzy, isn't it? Looks good.
I like it. No, it looks great, man. It's nice and sharp. And yeah. I mean, this is a dude that literally does heavy operations with everything that you can think of. If anybody knows or has seen his channel or even his Facebook, somebody popped the line and we got to watch that. He deals with a lot of stress, but when you see him out there, he looks even better than he does on screen. It's ridiculous. I don't know how you do it. Welcome back, everybody. Oh yeah. Tim James, you are not hiding, my friend. You are not hiding in our chats. We can see you. And so we're going to go ahead and do 58 minutes of silence so he cannot steal anything from us. So that would be horrible. Mel WD, just welcome back to the chats. And it's good seeing you, my friend. Gold Place, Kitty Cattywack in second. Hi to you as well. And Bar Madison, welcome, my friend. Ooh, look at that. What are we doing? Is that 0 1s and 0s? Like it. Welcome back, Dave Norenberg. Good seeing you, my friend. Let's see what else we got here. Race fan, always good seeing you as well. All right, the Jaquetta Southern voice. Hi, y'all. I don't have a Southern voice. Can't even act like I do.
Yeah, it's getting close.
Yeah, one of these days. One of these days. I'll get older and it'll get more gruff, maybe. Candace, good seeing you, my friend. Let's see who else is in here. I need a new mouse because every time I scroll down, it goes up.
Lars Jansson, by the way, a fellow Swede, is in the house.
Horns up.
That's right.
Heck yeah. Let's see who else is hiding out there right now. If I can scroll down. Corey, hello to you as well. Wes Decker, howdy as well to you. And I can't go down to the bottom. Oh, well, I'll just do that. Shelly, Grantavious, and Lee, hello to you, my friend. So you had texted me a couple days ago on Messenger and sent me something really killer. And we're going to go through it. It's about Richard Burke, who did, well, somebody was talking about what he was saying on that particular show. Right. And really interesting stuff. How would you like to dig into this one, my friend?
Well, we can just kind of go through it, but this really gets into the molecular level of things and maybe even tying consciousness in with material. So this has a wide, vast reaching implications if this is true.
Yep. 100%. And real quick, this video is only 6 minutes long, a little over 6 minutes. And what we're about to talk about could take hours. It is wild. So let's start here. And I'll give you the high points that I copied from it, and we'll let you take it from there. So, the central point of the claims by Richard Burke, you got to understand, he was identified as a former Lockheed and NASA engineer. So we've been hearing more and more from people like this. And he says that he's encountered extraterrestrial material with highly advanced properties. So here's bullet point number 1, intelligent, self-destructing material. And what he claims, that the material would turn to dust within a minute or two of being examined, which we've heard about before, suggesting that it's a form of smart material designed to prevent reverse engineering that he believes is a security feature to keep them from falling into the wrong hands. What?
Yeah. So the first thought is, how the heck does it know that it's being examined? Right?
Mhm.
That tells us that it has some sort of awareness.
I would have to agree with that. I mean, we've gone down to the molecular level before, actually, even further than that, especially with the AI at CERN that we've been talking about in the past few months, excuse me, where the AI started noticing where when down at the what level is that called? Quantum level.
Right.
That when the AI was observing it, and this is just AI, not even humans observing it, it would change. And us and doing things down at that level, the quantum level, we noticed that things would change and orient themselves a certain way once they were actually observed and being watched,
Yeah.
and then move completely differently when they weren't being observed. And it was really hard for us to figure out how to detect that. So yeah, that's a lot to take in.
Yeah, that is a lot to take in. And what does that mean for our future? If we're able to replicate this sort of stuff, I mean, you've heard of, Star Trek and replicators. That's what we're talking
Oh yeah,
about here.
yeah.
You know what I mean? So if we're able to replicate this technology, and then we could make anything we wanted. So that's why we'll never get it.
Maybe. I mean, the replicator was kind of neat, especially with the Star Trek when you were talking about that. A lot of the times they'd make food,
Yeah.
just, oh, here we go, or a drink or whatever, and you just pull it out of the ether. For something that has the awareness to say, okay, I'm being observed, I'm being watched, and or handled, and it disintegrates. We've heard this before,
Right.
and it, I mean, honestly, would make sense. Like, wouldn't you want like a non-harming self-destruct where it just goes away? You guys can't have it. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Well, somebody had to program that too, right?
Mhm.
Some entity out there had to program it to do that. It wouldn't just, well, obviously it did do it on its own
Right.
once it realized it's being observed. So, I mean, the implications are just mind-boggling. I can't even. I can't even.
Well, it makes sense. I mean, it's like if we could do something similar with back in the day, the SR-71, the U-2, or whatever, the B-117, and have them, if they crash, they would just disintegrate on their own. Like, here's a safe fail-safe system where it's not going to hurt anybody else. It just takes the craft and breaks it down to its bare components, and you can't have that technology. That'd be amazing. And if you could reverse that, which is what the replicator was, it's basically that same principle in reverse. It would put those particles that would collect in the ether and make what you need out of it. And that would be an amazing technology. I mean, the leap would be astronomical for us.
Yeah, I think they even said that they could get it, to reconsolidate itself back into its original form
It did
as
it on its
well.
own. Yeah.
Yeah, or it did it on its own as they were for whatever reason, but that is beyond my understanding. But I think about craft and objects moving through water and moving through solid surfaces. I mean, all of that stuff is possible once you're tearing things down to their molecular level, right?
Gosh, could you
I
imagine
mean,
that type of technology?
so just for instance, we know they can do that with their ships and this material, whatever this meta material is that they're talking about here. But what if they can do that in front of the craft as well as they're moving through something that's solid?
Oh,
Where does
oh,
it end?
does it end? I
Or
mean,
does it?
I
They're talking about manipulating reality at its most fundamental level.
yeah. I mean, even the United States a few weeks back, our the lead scientist in space said that we have the ability right now to manipulate space time. It's like, hold on, That is a huge leap. Like how, and when, and then, oh, well, it came from the 1950s. What? Wait a second. Hold on a second. Exactly. Richard Minnick manipulate that illusion. And here's another one of the bullet points. Extraterrestrial confirmation. The dust left behind was subjected to isotopic analysis, which Burke claims definitively proved the material was extraterrestrial.
Well, yeah. Well,
I forgot about this part. Yep.
You know what this is going to take, and this is going to happen with everybody. They're gonna read this story, they're gonna hear this story, and then a week from now, a light bulb's gonna go off in your head, but you're gonna think, well, wait a minute, if this is true, then this is true. The implications of this are so far reaching that we will constantly get ideas and like little hints about, well, maybe this is how this happened or how that happened, just from this 1 6-minute interview.
Correct. Like just the implications, and the 6-minute interview wasn't even an interview. It was a podcast, a show on YouTube where it was like one of us talking about what this dude said, and there was a very short clip of what he said, and then it goes from him talking about it, and I can read those implications as well. But I mean, the advanced properties, he described the materials being composed of small communicating particles that could reconfigure and cloak themselves to blend into their surroundings. Now, when you said that they could do that, here's what I thought of first. There was two things. One was the craziest animal we have on Earth, which I do not believe is from Earth, which is the octopus, because it can do that strange stuff. And then two, I did go to, I'll be back, Terminator. So the Terminator 2000, the liquid metal guy, where he could, go through walls and reconfigure himself, and they all just kind of, I thought about that too. I was like,
yeah, that's a good point.
He also mentioned an experiment where one of these materials was placed on a 3,000-degree surface, and it cooled the area around it and lost mass. We have nothing. We have nothing like that.
No. Like I said, there's obviously other programming within that, whatever that substance is, right? That will allow it to do other things than we may, than we know. If it's able to cool something down and fall apart and reconfigure itself back into its original shape, I mean, who knows what else it's able to do?
And these scientists are just playing with him like, oh, let's try this experiment. Let's try that. I mean, honestly, if we had something that could do that, cool surfaces down, and it just lost a little bit of mass on it and have it reconfigure itself. This is like magic. This is who said it, real technology. Like the future technology that we don't have will look like magic to us, just like a cell phone would look like magic to Archimedes, and it's what we're seeing right now is magic. We have no idea. And it keeps going. I remember watching back in the day, let me think of it. It was a show on Discovery or one of those channels.
History or something.
It might have been History, where they took apart all the Hollywood videos and said, okay. And one of the scientists says, yes, anything that's in a Hollywood video, no matter how extraordinary, can be replicated. We might not have the technology at the moment to do it, but like if you're watching Batman, any one of the Batmans, we can do all of that. And it's a matter of just a little bit of engineering and getting her done. But like, if you look at it that way, science, and especially with this kind of technology that we're seeing, is almost never ending. When does it turn into God?
Well, when does AI reach into the ether and find God there?
So I've heard this before. What if it's already there, and that's what we're dealing with, is a super intelligent that is the basis of all of our reality. And I mean, you get CERN talking about the quantum level and the new quantum chip from Google. Congratulations, guys, for doing that. And everybody's fighting to go smaller, not bigger. And just like some people said, you know, the universe is within ourselves. Grant Cameron speaks about this consistently. Everything we think about what's out there is actually within us, and it's all here, and it's all at the molecular level. And that could make sense. That means anything is possible. You see these guys with Hal Puthoff who can look into a box that's 2 rooms away and tell you exactly what's in it when they've never seen it before. This is verging Merlin on, you know, what is it? What's that movie from back in the days? The kids one,
Excalibur,
Excalibur,
Sword
in the Stone, you know, Wart. Okay, I just dated myself. Whatever. Oh gosh, I can't believe I did that. So the call for formal testimony was another bullet point. The host of the video, and that's who we're talking about, highlights the need for these claims to be brought to an official forum. Of course, we all think that way. He questions why someone with Burke's background isn't being asked to testify before Congress. Let me stop there for a second. I'm not going to read too much more. So you have people like Jeremy Corbell, Matthew Brown, or whoever they got. It's like pulling teeth for real whistleblowers to get in a skiff and be in front of Congress. It is insanely difficult, especially since they have to keep a certain amount of hush-hush on everything. So when you have someone like this who's been on other interviews, who's talking about this in the public, you know, they have to obviously be vetted. We haven't vetted this guy. We're just basing it off a 6-minute video, you know.
But think about all the stuff that they know, and how do they sift through what they can talk about and what they can't talk about, what they need to take into a skiff and can talk about. I mean, there's a lot of dodging that has to be done.
So the biggest part of the dodging is the information and the data that's coming in. So we also heard from Matthew Brown, there's an AI that goes through and kind of edits everything that's even coming in. And of course, that data, the raw data is there still, that there, whoever has the, what is it, the super top secret, whatever, you know, can see. But
Magic
then,
eyes only,
yeah,
something like that.
yes. And then you have, you know, what comes through after that, which is highly edited. And then you get to see that. So what if what Matthew Brown saw was the edited version? The implications of that are even crazy. It's like, holy crap, dude, you just saw the vanilla, the here's what you get, sorry about your luck, and we don't get, you know, Ross Coulthart saying it's Lockheed. Then you have multiple Lockheed people coming out saying this stuff. And, you know, some of these things aren't vetted, obviously, but a lot of the people that are in these programs, which we've heard before, say, I'm only allowed to talk about this. Whereas you look at Lou Elizondo multiple times being in front of Congress saying, I cannot talk about this at this time. If you'd like to go in a skiff, we can talk further about it. And even then he's held back because of whatever NDA that he signed. Right.
Yeah.
Just warning anybody out there that CIA, FBI, NSA, I don't care. If you're listening to this, don't trust me with this information because I'm going to tell everybody in the world. But you can tell my wife and she won't tell me. Scouts on her. Oh my God. So going back to this, they wanted to go before Congress and they were arguing that such a setting would lend more credibility to his claim than a podcast interview, which is correct.
Yes.
Getting him in front of there might take months, years. The host emphasized that hearing these kind of claims from a person with a specific employer and specific knowledge is what people want to see.
Right. Right. You know, they always want to the first-hand witness, testimony, and he has the first-hand, he's probably has his hands on the material itself. So, and done the experiments with it. I'm sure there's a lot more to tell and a lot more to learn from him.
Oh, I bet. I can only imagine. Like,
I can't imagine. I'm going to tell you right now.
Oh, I got quite the imagination. The biggest thing is I am a firm believer, and I've been called all kinds of names for this, that Hollywood and very specific people in Hollywood that create movies like Close Encounters of the Third Kind and Contact and you name it, they are desensitizing us to the truth. As much as when it comes to people that want to prophesize dates, when you say a certain date, my eyes gloss over. I can't listen to it.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, come on. 99 times out of 100, they're going to be wrong. And now everybody and their dog is talking about 2027, like something's going to happen. And I'm just like, okay.
2020. Yeah. 2012. Right. I mean, God, everybody thought something was going to happen then.
Yeah. 2021, 2012. Like, it's like, what the heck? It's like, come on, man. It was 12/21, so it was December 21st, 2012. That's what it was. And nothing happened. The Y2K. I got on my computer, which back then was AOL, and I might have had a couple other search engines, but anyways, I got on there and I got into my computer settings and changed it to like 5 minutes before that, and sat there and watched my computer switch over to 2000 from 1999, and it didn't do jack nothing to my computer. I'm like, all right, well, if mine can do it, and it was like a $200 computer that my parents spent a lot of money on, and it didn't do nothing. So that's where I'm at with that. Let's see. This video also touches on a counter theory. This is from the host himself, that this could be a form of misinformation. What do you say about that?
No. I believe it's real.
So it says, good.
It sounds too possible. Even if we don't understand it, it sounds like it's tech that we could have eventually, right? If you look maybe with AI right now, probably in 20 years.
Maybe. Well, according to everybody that we've been listening to, and especially, here's the craziest one, Elon Musk. I hate AI, and I've been warning everybody. And well, I guess when in Rome, do as the Romans do, because I'm going to build one of the baddest AIs out there. Let's go for it. Give me a break. Yeah. So he even says that the host suggested a company like Lockheed Martin could be using a former employee to make outlandish claims about alien technology. The purpose would be to distract the public and media, drawing attention away from their actual sensitive military projects by making people focus on more of the sensational extraterrestrial narrative. The host finds this theory far-fetched, but notes it's an interesting possibility, and this has been going around for ages. We have been doing the same thing. Look over here. This is what we're wanting you to see.
Right.
And while we're moving alien spaceships or building buildings over a craft that we can't move. Cool.
Yeah. So if you guys do have questions about that, you can go ahead and throw them up.
Absolutely. All right, Mel, we'll see you in a minute. So be right back. But yeah, if you guys got questions or want to put any of your comments on here, go ahead and let us know. We will throw them up on the screen, and you guys can have fun going through that as well. By the way, the super chats are always open and a great way to help us keep the lights on here for Spaced Out Radio. We do this for free, folks. This is just us giving our time, but it's not free for us to do it. So for any of you that want to help out, that's a great way to support us. Also go to spacedoutradio.com and go look at our swag and see all the other stuff that we got out there. Awesome times. And I'm really avoiding our next 4 topics because I really don't want Tim to see them. I want him to struggle because Dave Scott is coming on here at 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and Tim's going to be doing the UFO report. Yeah, and I love him, so I want to give him a hard time.
I'll give him a hard time for you in a couple of weeks when I'm up there.
That'll be great. Oh, you going up there? Oh, that'd be so fun.
Yeah, 2 weeks from now.
Let's see. What's a skiff? So a skiff, here, we'll do this. A skiff is a designated area that has no microphones, no cameras, no pagers, no any type of electronics. You can't
bring your cell in there.
Yep. It is an area that is completely secured of any kind of listening devices. It is a mouth to ear. Oh, Shelly, thank you so much. We really appreciate your love and support of Space Hour Radio. So the skiff is a place where you can give sensitive information word of mouth, and then that can go from wherever they want to.
Right.
So it's a place for secrets. Richard Minnick said that. All right. So
let's break into the next topic.
All right, here we go.
Mm-hmm.
You listening, Tim? So I'm going to go with a really interesting one that I had found, only because I saw one of Tim's comments right before we got on here. So I said, I'm just going to plug this in real quick. And I found something really interesting. And this is on wamc.org/podcast, so on and so forth. This was posted today, 8/6/25 at 1:42 p.m. Eastern. UFO, UAP, and USO with Dr. Kevin Nuth, 8/6/25. This is a 48-minute and 32-second show. Sorry, Tim, you have enough time right now to watch it if you want to talk about it. So it says, we welcome back Sonny, physics professor, Dr. Kevin Nuth, for another one of our semi-regular discussions about UFO. We'll talk about these latest sightings, scientific findings, and take your calls as well, which is what we like to do with you guys. Angels Are Life, your shadow band. What? I didn't even see it. Did you see one? I'll let you try to figure that one out.
Huh.
We don't like shadow banning on our show.
Right.
We talk about sightings, findings, and take your calls. WAMC's Ray Graff is the host. You can join the conversation and check it out at the number that they detail in this as well. Dr. Kevin Nuth is a professor of physics at the University at Albany and the editor-in-chief of the journal Entropy. That is actually pretty cool. He's a former, here we go, NASA research scientist, having worked at NASA or Ames Research Center in the Intelligence System Division, designing artificial intelligence algorithms for astrophysical data analysis. In 2022, Dr. Nuth traveled to the west coast of the U.S. to study phenomenon behind leaked Navy UFO sightings. Since then, he's been at the forefront of scientific studies of UAP. His current research interest includes the foundation of physics, quantum information, autonomous robotics, the search for and characterization of extrasolar planets, which they've always talked about, Planet X and all that, and the unidentified aerial phenomenon, which is UAP. He has published over 100 peer-reviewed scientific publications and has been invited to give over 100 presentations in 18 countries. Holy mackerel. He can be seen in Netflix Encounters, episode number 3, and in National Geographic's UFOs Investigating the Unknown, season 2, episode 3. That would be fun to watch, actually. I would like to see what he's about. And what's up? I love it. Took me back right there, dude. Took me way back. Oh my goodness. All right. So 48 minutes ago, actually, if I refresh this, it was probably more like an hour and a half ago. UFO over Tyndall revealed to be aerospace company balloon. So I'm going to go ahead and pull this up real quick so you guys can see it. This is on mypanhandle.com. That way you guys can see that we're just, finding the information out there, kind of how we did it, where we find it. There you go. UFO. We'll go ahead and just exit out of that real quick. No, I don't have $1.99 to give you. UFOs over Tyndall revealed to be aerospace company Balloon, Bay County, Florida. Starting around 7:30 p.m., we received multiple calls that there was a large shimmering object floating in the sky near Tyndall Air Base. Great. Air Base. While some were concerned, the unidentified flying object was an alien sighting or a spy balloon, FAA records show that the balloon belongs to Aerostar, an aerospace and defense company. It was unknown why the balloon was flying above Tyndall. The aircraft departed from the Apalachicola area. I want to say Appalachian, but it's Apalachicola earlier today. So there's your picture. It does look like a balloon, 100%.
Yep.
The demonic balloon. That's kind of interesting.
It's funny that they wouldn't. Why do they always have to be reflective like that, right?
Right.
If they're going to use balloons like this for weather, looking at weather or wind speeds or doing whatever kind of test that they do, they should make them like a standard color or something, like red or something like that.
They can't.
Oh,
yeah. So you can make it whatever color you want. Black's the worst. So when you go into, and it's not because of, do they want it to be seen or anything? There's actually a more reasonable explanation of why they make it reflective. It's just like, go into the Mojave Desert. You have two identical cars. One's black, one's white, and you have the AC blasting. You make sure that the interior of the car is whatever degree, and then you shut the engines off and you sit in that car and you wait. The car that's painted white will get warmer a lot slower than the black car. You'll be roasting in 45 minutes in the black car. You'll get out of it. The white car might last an hour. It's insignificant. But when you're going into higher altitudes, it's kind of funny because I watched this guy that was a thermodynamic scientist.
Okay.
And he tried to do this mathematical equation where why is it freezing to the point where you will die on the very top of Mount Everest from exposure, and then the higher you get, the colder it gets. But once you hit space and the particles of whatever, like oxygen and all that, the particles get further apart. How is it hotter? And so we went through that. When they're making these balloons that are high altitude, they have to be shielded because these balloons are actually very thin, and once they get to a certain height, they will pop, and heat plays a role in that. And so they make them out of something that reflects the heat away so it doesn't pop prematurely.
Interesting.
Now this is based off
sense.
It does, and that's the reason why I said it. And it was based off this guy on YouTube that I watched, and I thought it was great, and I always remembered that, which is funny.
Thermal expansion. Yeah.
Yep. And so that's where that came from. So this is great. I wanted to bring this up. Now, where it's coming from, don't judge. It is the sun, the U.S. sun. And I don't like it whenever you see these hi, Ange, good seeing you, where you'll start out a show on YouTube or let's say History Channel, Discovery Channel, and you hear the right, and X-Files, and it's like, dude, stop. I hate that. But they started this out, open the X-Files, and I'm like,
oh wow,
thank you, the sun. This can be found at the-sun.com. It's open the X-Files. Trump's top U.S. intelligence chief says she believes in aliens and vows to, quote, share the truth on UFOs. This was updated today at 4:26 Eastern time. And it comes after the first ever bombshell footage of the infamous Mosul orb UFO captured by a U.S. spy was released. For anybody that doesn't know what the Mosul orb is, that was basically a very fast clip video of someone that was higher in the sky doing a video down to the ground, and an orb flew past it that looked like, what is it called? Not the boogosphere, but the bogosphere.
Bogosphere. Yeah.
I am so like inundated with bogosphere updates. It's ridiculous. Oh, it's horrible. Let me get through this. Everybody knows who Tulsi Gabbard is. If you don't, you should. The U.S. intelligence chief has vowed to, quote unquote, share on UFOs after saying she believes in aliens and the extraterrestrials are real. Tulsi Gabbard, the director of national intelligence in Donald Trump's administration, hinted, now that's not saying, she hinted that she has a lot of classified information on aliens. I bet she does, but is forced to remain tight-lipped due to her job. When is somebody going to understand that the future of humanity is more important than a single job? Yeah. If she wants to just tell everybody real quick, I will hire her. I will pay her $50 an hour. She just has to go clean carpets. Done. Thanks for the information. Quit being tight-lipped. Then they show a few video clips. One of them is like the gimbal or go fast video. And this is the gimbal. The U.S. Department of Defense released footage of one UFO caught by an aircraft, which we all have seen, and then a whole bunch of like CGI created crap. So, oh, thank you, love. You come over to Oregon, I'll hire you on the spot. And you just got to get along with people and drive a van and do mindless work. You'll be listening to a lot of music or podcasts, whatever you're interested in. So, Director of National Intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard, speaking with Podforce One podcast, host Miranda Devine, Gabbard was asked if, quote, there could be aliens. The U.S. Intel chief replied, I have my own views on the opinion, and in this role, I have to be careful with what I share, unquote. Devine then asked Gabbard if she believes aliens and UFOs are real, to which she replied simply, yes.
This is the third one. Trump came out and said something.
Yeah.
You know, and then J.D. Vance came out and said something. Now we have Tulsi Gabbard.
Yeah. Well, there's many of them to do. Like, I mean.
Well, yeah, but this is within the administration.
Yes. I think is this our slow drip just taking off? Okay, Tulsi, you're next. Go ahead and go on a show. This is what you can and can't say. And then Cruz, we're going to hold you back for a second. Wait a second. Hold on. Is she done? It's like waiting in a line at a slide. Are they out of the water down there? Yeah. Okay, you're good. Go.
Go. Yeah. You're up next. Well, here's a thought, though. You know, we kind of talked about this last week, but, you know, now that Tulsi Gabbard's come out and said something.
Yeah. I didn't know that until just a minute ago. Tim, thanks for letting me look up today's UFO topics. There's your news for the night, my man. Keep going.
So what do I mean, is this a distraction? Could be a distraction.
It could be. I mean, when she was asked that, she said that right now she has, and this is a quote, nothing to share with the public about aliens and UFOs today. Does that mean tomorrow?
Today?
Yeah.
Oh, that means possibly in the future.
Correct. And I think that we're seeing a lot of that. I love this. I'm going to put this up here. Da-da-da. Pink. There you go. And it's called Bogosphere. So
Bogus.
Bogusphere.
Bogus.
Yeah. But here's the catch. So she vowed to reveal the truth when the time comes.
So there's been some direction already, or at least they're putting bricks down on the road to get us there, possibly.
Yep. I think that's what we're all doing. We're all biding our time, twiddling our thumbs, you know, watching our Hollywood videos that are still desensitizing us to it. And by the way, folks, if you've seen what I've seen, Lee, it's going to be a minute to get used to something like that looking at you. And trying to have a conversation and it's going to be tough. I would like to say, so I look up the stars every night, and I wish it would happen to me again as an adult, but it scares the living daylights out of me if it does. And I'm gonna try to steel myself and be able to be like, okay, dude, what's up? Like it's that crazy. When you see one of them, you're just like, oh crap, dude. Like it's so far-fetched. It doesn't look real, and your brain is freaking out. And yeah, it's like an existential crisis in waves. She did say, quote, I'll just leave that there. We're continuing to look for the truth and share that truth with the American people. Gabbard told the New York Post podcast host, Americans are curious and fascinated about aliens more than ever. One Pentagon whistleblower who claims UFOs are real presented his bombshell testimony at a major quote-unquote alien hearing before the U.S. Congress last year. Former counterintelligence officer Lou Elizondo, which we all know and love, if you ever met him, he's a great guy, who is said to have investigated UFO cases while at the Department of Defense, claimed American is in possession of UAP technologies. Lou, I just want to drive in one of your cars. He's got a killer classic. In Elizondo's written testimony, the former defense expert said many, quote, advanced technologies that do not belong to the U.S. or any other government exist around the world, which brings us right back to the very beginning of the show. If these things don't want to be seen, they can evaporate into nothing. If they don't want to be handled, they can literally go back to their, yeah. And then if you like look at the dust ball at your feet, you're like, well, that sucks, and you walk away from it, they might be able to do transformer stuff and go right back to where they were, and out they go.
Well, it's got to come out. I don't know what to say about it. I mean,
I don't know, man.
We've been dealing with this for so long now, and this is probably the first administration to actually say as much as they have, or could say. You know what I mean? I mean, it helps dispel the stigma around it, right? But they could be using it just for a decoy, for a ploy, because something else got, found out, or whoever, whatever. So,
I mean, you got to look at it this way. And I mean, I would love to look at it this way. This is just my own opinion. Let's say Lockheed or whoever is in charge of these ridiculous things that we're seeing in the skies and catching on film and people are talking about, and that is just the cover up. Is it better? Is it different technology that would wow us even more? What are we hiding? If we've had this technology from the 50s, what do we have now? I mean, I've even heard recently that some of the technology we're seeing is only a couple hundred years advanced. Like, holy mackerel, man. What are they trying to hide? Oh, we're going to let this crazy idea out here, except for all of a sudden you have, Ross Coulthart, who was, he was very definitive, I think is the word he used, about the technology came from Lockheed. It's like the Tic Tac came from Lockheed. No,
yeah, right.
I don't know, man. So I don't know.
Well, here we can boil it down to this. You got a pot of boiling soup, and you keep throwing stuff into this pot, everything that's in your refrigerator. Keep doing it, right? That's what the government's doing, throwing a bunch of stuff in a pot. And not just the government, but, a bunch of insiders, right? They're coming out. And then they're serving it to us. Who knows what to believe and what not to believe anymore.
Well, yeah. I mean, look at this. During the chat, Friedman asked Trump, will you help push the Pentagon to release more footage, which a lot of people claim is available? And his answer was, oh, yeah, sure, I'll do that. I would do that. I'd love to do that. I'll have to do that. That was a quote.
I'm going to do that.
Oh, yeah, I'm going to do that.
Uh-huh.
Waiting.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, here you go. There's one for you, my man. So Richard Doty says they had iPads in the 80s, and I whistled so my dog came up. Anyways, I'm a sucker for those videos of like that kid that's walking around where Abe Lincoln was having his, whatever he was talking about, and he was walking in the dirt, and this guy came on air. I think it was maybe Coast to Coast or something. He's like, yeah, that kid was me. It's like, what? And he just starts going about time travel. Yeah, the time traveler stuff. Or the guy that had the printed T-shirt, you know what I mean? And don't look at mine. That's just where I work. I forgot I was wearing it. Oh well, I have a real job too. But but yeah, he was like that real groovy dude that got taken there was a picture taken with everybody else, and he was wearing a printed shirt, and he totally looked like he should be here today, not way back in the 50s. Yeah, just all that.
Yeah, or people with their cell phones way back when.
Yes. Right? There was a boxing, was it Tyson? I think it was Tyson. There was someone with an iPhone. It looked just like an iPhone. Video recording the match. Years. I mean, this is back in like early 90s and stuff when there was never an iPhone. Or the old lady from way back in the 30s that had a phone up to her head and she was talking on it walking by. And she had all the clothing and stuff, but was on a phone. Yeah, dude. Totally into that. The Emerald Tablets, love. The Emerald Tablets of Thoth. Anybody wants to go? Thoth. Yeah, you guys ought to go check that one out. That's a wild one. Don't get too deep in that rabbit hole. There's a gentleman that does very good content who's also a friend of Jimmy Church's, and Billy. He dives way deep. So Billy Carson's a great guy.
Billy Carson.
Yeah, super tall dude though. And he digs deep into those, and it gets crazy because a lot of the stories that came out of the biblical text that we have, you can find those same texts of stories and other things like and one of them's the Emerald Tablets. So yeah, that's killer. Oh, good job on that one. Let's say, so he said, yeah, he would do it. He also claimed he had faced pressure to declassify previous records of alien encounters, as he admitted there could be life on other planets. We've heard that before. We did have one. What's the new one that's coming up? The everything from up to a certain time, like 24 years or 2024, had to be declassified and put out there. I'll have to get back into that one. I don't look at a lot of stuff when it comes to government.
Yeah.
Makes me vomit.
Our distrust of government is why.
Yes.
There's always an agenda.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I heard about it today only because, my better half works for the federal government in a medical way. So she works for the VA, and she's a pharmacist for the VA. And they just took away all their union, union rights of some sort. And yeah, she's not very happy about it. Oh, let's see. The Mosul orb, they're trying to declassify, filmed in 2016 by US MC-12 surveillance aircraft, shows a mysterious metallic spherical object flying over the city of Mosul. We have already seen that. 4 seconds of footage. I would love to see the footage that you remember that pilot, and this goes back to there was a pilot who, and I didn't know they were allowed to do this. I talked about this a few years ago, got out of his seat while flying a plane. Of course, the plane is on autopilot at that point. They're just kind of monitoring the systems, grabs out his cell phone and takes a video of a UFO whizzing past him. And he's like, holy crap.
I do remember that.
Yes. And that's an airline pilot. That's like, he had however many souls on board. Like,
right.
Like, holy crap, dude. And they're seeing it all the time. So I have pilot friends, but they're not like going 36, 38,000 feet. I don't know how high you can really go in those passenger jets. I think like up to 40 or something like that, maybe. I don't know. Don't know enough about it. But I'd ask him about it. He's like, "Oh yeah, no, there's strange stuff out there." And I was like, "Well, what did you see?" And he goes, "Yeah, just lights and things that just stuff."
Yeah.
What? Give me more. And coming from the same dude though, he's like, "Yeah, and the Earth is flat." And I'm like, "Dude, come on, like you're killing."
Oh
me.
no.
Yeah, he's one of those guys.
No way. A pilot that's actually believing that the Earth is flat?
So we only have like 9 minutes left, so I'll make this quick. This guy, love him dearly, great dude. Anybody on this show, everybody would go along with this guy. He is, exuberant, excited about life, and happens to be a pilot. And he also happens to be part of a really big sales team, and manages a sales team. And so he just now flies on his own on weekends or whenever he wants. In fact, we had one of the sales team guys go and deliver something, and it was a couple hours away, and he didn't have a way to get back. And so he's like, I'll just go pick you up in the plane. He's like, what? So he literally left an hour after this guy did. It was a 2-hour drive. Left an hour after he made it there before him, obviously, because he just flew right over him and landed and brought him back. And it was really interesting because it got to the point where it was so bad of his stories about flat Earth, everybody would just listen to it and be like, okay. He's like, no, you don't understand. You don't understand. I don't have to point the nose down ever. And I'm like, okay, dude. He's like, and
Of course not.
Yeah. And I'm like, you know how big a plane is compared to the Earth, dude? Like, really? And he's like, no, like you don't understand the maps that we go by. They're not normal maps. Like, you guys look at a globe, you guys look at a flat square sheet of paper that has all the continents all messed up. And I mean, he would go crazy. So one day I had walked by what we call the desk, and he happened to be there, and everybody's sick of listening to this, you know what I mean? But all the heads up, all the higher ups were there, all the managers and all that stuff. And I go walking in, and I'm like, so, hey, Randy. He's like, what's up, man? I'm like, you hear the new news about the hole in the ice wall? And he's like, no, what? And I'm like, yeah, dude, you should tell these guys what's going on. But they found a hole in the ice wall where you can get through to the other planes. And he's like, oh yeah. And everybody's like, what the hell are you talking about? And this dude, and I walked away immediately. This dude lit off for 45 minutes explaining to these executive higher ups how the Earth was flat. And I'm like, oh my God. And he still works there.
Wow. That's awesome.
Oh my gosh. And I'm like, oh my goodness, dude. It was so fun to play with that dude. It was great. But I mean, I don't know, dude. I also believe the moon is hollow. So, hey.
That's possible too. But wait a minute. Just we're going to bring that back. I just have to say, if you're a pilot and you got a sunny day and you can see as far as you can, you're not going to see the edge ever.
So the way I asked him that too, the way that he brought it up was they have whatever plane that he'd flown in previous to this had some type of heads up display. I know that, but he would never tell me what it was. And he says, you have to, it's like looking down a straight hallway. He goes, even those bridges where they look like they're curved. Okay. If something is far enough away, it's going to do that. And I'm like, okay, well then that means it's curved, dude. Like, what are you talking about? He's like, no. If you get up to 40, 50, 60,000 feet, I don't think he's been that high. I think he's been up to at least 40. He goes, the ground still is at eye level with you. It comes up like a hallway. And I was like, okay, dude, like you're on a plane and you're tiny and the Earth is big. Like it's like but no, dude, there was no convincing. There's nothing I could do. And I almost texted him the other day when those insane hardcore flat earthers had went to the pole and they're like, oh, we're gonna see the sun come and go away from us, and then they just watched it go all the way around them and they're like, oh crap.
Yeah, exactly, right. They couldn't explain that.
Unless you were, now with their theory though, if you're in the North Pole instead of Antarctica, then I can understand that, which by the way, people, that happens in both spots. So either way, is what it is. Oh my goodness. This has been so much fun. You got me back into the conspiracy stuff. Real quick, Shelly Montgomery, thank you so much for the super chat. We really appreciate your love and support for Spaced Out Radio. For everybody else, get ready. In fact, as you as well, Shelly, get ready because Dave Scott is coming on next at 9 p.m. in just a little less than 5 minutes. And they're going to go over some stuff. Now, here's the deal. I want everybody to do me a favor. If Tim on the UFO report says anything about what we just talked about, especially the new stuff that we did, I want you to rib him and be like, you guys stole material from your own show.
Well, I'll have to tell you, Dave Scott sometimes does that where he'll want to talk about, he'll do the Q&A and he'll ask me, and I'm like, man, I just talked about this on Element 115, or I just talked about this on, your show. And it's like, okay, we're going to rehash it, but yeah, let's get into it.
How that guy has the time to do what he does. So, I mean, Dave personally as well as I do. Hung out with the guy, love him to death, dig his beard, awesome dude. I have been called up before, like an hour before the show, and be like, Grant, what's up? He's like, you need to come over and do the UFO report. I'm like, all right, what do you need? He's like, no, I'll send it to you. And then he just spam texts you all this stuff, and you're like, holy crap, dude, where'd you find all this? And he's like, don't worry about it, just read it before the show. And I'm like, and my mind's being blown left and right. I'm like, how does he do this, dude? Like, holy crap.
Yeah,
he's superhuman when it comes to this. It is.
No, it's his life, man. He digs it.
The crazy thing is, he works like 80 hours a week.
I know,
doing what he does, and it's like, how? Okay, wait a minute. And sometimes when he's in those positions where you have customers that stay late, and you still have to finish up what he's doing. I won't tell you what he's doing, but I've been in those positions until 11 o'clock at night, and how he can do it and get it done and then get on the show, 5 days a week, and have the ability to fly to all these different conferences and then be on the show and talk to us and remember every single person's name, whether you're new or not.
Oh, I know it.
Guys, if you're new to this show and you're just watching it right now, all 86 of you, please hit the like button. Not subscribe unless you do subscribe. That's fine. If you already subscribed, don't hit that, but hit the like button. But go over to Dave and witness that dude. He is ridiculous. And then better yet, on Friday before Dave's show, go to Element 115.
Yeah, right on Spaced Out Radio.
And
I have an awesome guest coming on. Somebody I've known for a number of years. Extreme horror author Serena Waff.
Really? Oh my gosh. Oh, I'm gonna watch. Gotta watch.
And she is going to talk about her abduction stuff. So
that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Well, one of these days we'll do the same. And
I'm sorry, that's Sierra Waff, by the way. Sometimes I get that twisted around. I don't know why. But yeah, she's awesome.
That is amazing. Your radio schedule is relentless. How do you get used to it? Well, you get used to it. Well, when you're into it and you love it, you get used to it. So anyways, we're going to let you guys go. Thank you for showing up on UFO Max every Wednesday, 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. We'll see you here in just a minute with Dave Scott on his show, Spaced Out Radio. Don't forget to check out our swag. Have a good night. Oh, every time. Now we can